Party's on Lane versus Tynan. Step forward, please.
Los Angeles artist Jack Lane claims he was contracted to draw a caricature of 45-year-old Dan Tynan, but he never paid him for it.
Mr. Lane, you are an artist.
Yes, Your Honor.
According to your complaint, you were commissioned by the defendant to do a caricature of him
Yes.
for a Rotary Club. Is that right?
Yes, ma'am.
And you did the caricature.
Yes.
Do you have it?
Yes, I do.
And you sent it to him, and he didn't pay you for it.
That's right, Your Honor.
Why?
Your Honor, he had sent me the caricature, or he had solicited me to draw a caricature for my demotion party.
Tell me what a demotion party is.
Demotion party is at the end of my presidency in my service club. We have a party at the end of the year. At that party, we usually get some form of gift. He had done this for other clubs, and he had solicited me saying, can I do this for your club? I said, come to my office. I made an appointment. He came to my office. And at that time, I showed him a caricature that I keep on my wall, Your Honor. And I instructed him that this is the caricature that I wanted, something like this with a couple of exceptions. The exceptions were to put my logo on the cap and to put something else in my hand other than a hot dog, like a hammer or a gavel or something. Then he proceeded to draw.
Well, did he do it in front of you, sir? Did he do the drawing while you were sitting in your office?
No, we went outside into the parking lot and he continued to draw. After he drew, he showed me the drawing, and it was nothing like this. It was something that he draws himself, more of a portrait than a caricature. I said that that is still not what I had drawn, that I had with the changes. He said he was going to go back, ink the difference or ink something, and that he would mail it to me.
Okay, so he went home and he drew this?
He went home, he drew that, sent it to me. That was not the cartoon.
Just a second. You sent it to him?
Yes.
When did you send it to him, sir?
I billed him and sent it to him 5/1.
May 1st?
Yes.
And you received it when, sir?
Somewhere mid-May.
Let's say you received it the beginning of the second week in May.
Very good.
What did you do with it?
Once I saw the caricature, I knew that I would not use it for my demotion party because it wasn't what I had commissioned or what I had asked for. When he sent the second billing request, I packaged it and mailed it back to him.
When did he send the second billing request?
July, I believe.
And your demotion party was in June?
In June, yeah, late June.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
You're going to pay this bill, sir, and I'm going to tell you why. Very simple. I would have complete sympathy for your position if when you received this in May, beginning of the second week in May, before your demotion party, you put it back in the envelope and you sent it back to this gentleman and you said, this is not what I bargained for. I'm not interested in it. If you want another opportunity to do what I did in fact commission, because this quite frankly is an adorable caricature, absolutely adorable, but it's not exactly what I want. It doesn't have a gavel in the hand and I don't like the logo, because those were the two things that you complained about.
Yes.
Right? So it would be very easy for him to put a gavel in your hand and to change the logo. You didn't give him an opportunity to do that. You didn't even have the common courtesy to respond to his first billing. You waited until July, 2 months later, and then you packed it up and sent it back to him. That's bad form. He just bought himself a caricature. Give it to him.
Your Honor.
Mr. Lane, you won.
Yeah.
$92.01 to the plaintiff. That's all. Thank you.
Then ask for further minute.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. And on the
Forward, please.
35-year-old Major Castleberry is suing 39-year-old apartment manager Zachary Thomas for assault.
Order. All rise. Yeah, it's case number 361 on the calendar in the matter of Castleberry versus Thomas. Parties have been sworn in, Judge. You may be seated. Gentlemen.
I'll wait for you, sir. You ready?
Yes, ma'am.
Good. You are the apartment manager
Yes, ma'am.
in a complex where the plaintiff lives, correct?
No, he doesn't live there.
He doesn't, did he live there?
No,
He was just visiting there.
he was just visiting.
And you were there visiting a couple that you say you take care of.
Yes,
occasionally.
ma'am.
And you claim he assaulted you.
That's correct.
You want to tell me how that came about?
Yes, ma'am. From point A to point Z, I was actually I was visiting Mr. Bob Miller here, and actually I went to the store for him, and I came back. While at the store, I met a young lady, asked me to give her a ride, you know, up the way towards where we live, where actually Bob lived. And
Where do you live?
I live in Emeryville. I used to live next door to Bob Miller for 11 and a half years before I moved.
Okay. So go ahead.
Yes, ma'am. And as me and this, the young lady I gave a ride, you know, up to where Bob lived, we're sitting out in front of the apartment complex, and we're just sitting there talking. And you know, I acknowledged Zach, was on the first level there, and Zach says, I spoke to him. How you doing, Zach? We never had a problem prior to this.
So you knew him from before?
Yes, ma'am. I've known him since I've lived there. I used to be the manager of the building adjacent to his. And so Zach came to the vehicle and says, "Hey, man, you know, what are you guys doing sitting in front of the apartment complex? Don't you know, people get shot for sitting in front of, the apartment complex." So Zach proceeded up the stairs, and I thought about what he said, and I told the young lady, I said, "Hey, well, let's go up, to Bob's apartment, right?"
To Bob's apartment?
Yes, ma'am, Mr. Bob Miller. And so we goes into the apartment and sitting down talking, conversating, and 45 minutes later, there was a knock at the door. And so I go and answer the door, I ask, "Who is it?" He says, "Zach." So I open the door to see, "Yeah, Zach, what is it?" And then he, proceeded to push the door in, forcefully push it. I said, "Man, you can't do this, man. That's not right. You're out of line." And he, pushed me into the partition there, and he grabbed a plant, and he tried to hit me over the head with the plant, but the vase that the plant was in fell, hit the ground, so therefore he was left holding dirt in his hand. And also, he struck me upside the head, and I received damages from that.
What kind of damages?
I have like a scar tissue under my temple area here.
Did you go to the doctor?
Yes, ma'am.
You have a doctor's
Yes, ma'am, I
bill,
have.
report?
Yes, I have.
Okay. So, what happened?
Okay, on July the 2nd, I normally make my rounds of my building, making sure the building is safe, making sure that nobody is hanging out in front of the building. Then I observed Major Castleberry sitting inside this car. I don't know, he was smoking something, and
What do you mean he was smoking something?
he was smoking something that I assume it was, like crack, because, he's a, abuser. And and also, when they got out the car, the young lady got out and came to my building, and before she walked up the stairs, she had used the restroom right in front of my stairs.
You mean she just
Used the restroom in front of my stairs.
You mean she urinated in front of your stairs?
Yes, ma'am.
She didn't use a restroom because it wasn't a restroom, it was the stairs.
Was the stairs, yes, ma'am. And
You saw this, sir?
Yes, ma'am. And this was around between 3:30 and 4 o'clock a.m. in the morning. Okay, and then when Major Castleberry proceeded up the stairs into the house, I didn't think nothing of it until he just opened up the door and just went in. And
So
then,
you were concerned that you didn't see him knock at the door or that you didn't see Bob let him in. He just opened the door and went in.
Right, he just, because he just opens the door and just walks in. I knocks on the door, he cracks the door. Then I observe that when he cracks the door, My concern is with Bob.
So what did you see when he opened the door a crack, you mean?
I seen this naked woman standing up, getting her clothes off the floor.
Was that the same woman
The same woman that he was in a car with.
who you saw using your staircase as a bathroom?
Right.
Okay.
And then as she was standing in the middle of the room floor naked, and then I said, I want to talk to Bob. And then he go tell me that you're not going to talk to no one, and slam the door in my face. So I'm assuming that he just got upset because I disturbed whoever he about to do. When he slammed the door, I talked through the door. I said, I want to talk to Bob to make sure Bob know that you're in the house. Because I don't know if he let the door open for you, or I don't know that you just walked in. Because Bob always have people coming inside his house, drinking with him, and always leaving out with money of his after he passed out of drinking. I said, okay, if you want to open the door, I'll just go call the police, and then so I can see, is Bob okay?
So, did you do that?
Yes. And then the two couples came out, him and his girlfriend, came out the house, and they start arguing about 4 a.m. in the morning to top of their lungs. Then I was trying to come to them. I said, look, y'all can't be yelling in my building at no 4 a.m. in the morning.
And
waking
where
up
was this
people.
taking place, this yelling and screaming?
Right outside, because they had stepped outside.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
You take her up to the apartment with Bob passed out on the couch.
Well, Bob was actually asleep, you know.
He was in a deep sleep.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy. Major Castleberry is suing apartment manager Zachary Thomas for assault. Zachary claims Mr. Castleberry was causing problems in his building and was attempting to detain him until the police arrived.
This is outside the apartment, so how did he get hit in the head?
Okay, then after I went to trying to calm them down, and then the door was already open, so I seen Bob laying down, face down on the couch. So I went to the apartment to see was he okay. Major Castleberry came in and started shoving me, well, tried to shove me out the door. You know, I said, Major, you know, get your hands off me. Then he kept on shoving me, kept on shoving me, kept on shoving me. And then I wouldn't budge. So I detained him against the wall. I said, Major, be still until the police come. Then I heard footsteps coming up the stairs or down the stairs. So anyway, I heard footsteps. Then when I turned and looked to see who was that, when I turned back around, he had hit me in, somewhere in the cheek area. You know, he had struck me first in the cheek area. And then he struggled trying to get it loose, started trying to get it loose. Then as he kept on trying to get it loose, trying to hit me still, kept on trying to swing, that's when I countered and hit him to calm him down. Then after I hit him, then he come
Why
right.
did you pin him, sir? Mr. Thomas, I understand what you're saying, and I understand that you felt as if you were protecting the tenant or trying to make sure that the tenant was okay in your building.
Right.
What I don't understand is, sir, once you saw the tenant in your building, who you know, according to you, drinks, and you saw him, according to you, sort of passed out on the couch, right?
No, I didn't know he was passed out.
You saw him face down on the couch.
Yes, ma'am.
That's what you saw. So you knew he was okay.
No.
Or as okay as he has been other times when you've seen him if you said, you know, he drinks, right?
Right.
So why did you try to detain this man?
Because he was swinging on me.
No, he wasn't swinging on you, sir, until you went into the apartment.
When I first came to the apartment, knocked on the door, like I said before, and then he refused to let me speak to my tenant.
He doesn't have to let you speak to your tenant, sir. You know that. I mean, I'm not faulting you. I think you were trying to do your job. I don't think that there was anything malicious about your intent. I really don't. Except that because you had certain grounds to believe that the people who were going into that apartment were not wrapped too tight that evening. You know, you have a woman using a staircase as a bathroom.
That's a plain lie, Your Honor.
Mr. Castleberry,
Yes, ma'am.
what were you doing out sitting in the car 3:30 in the morning with this lady that you picked up at the store?
Obviously, Your Honor.
No. Look in my eyes, Mr.
Oh,
Castleberry.
definitely. No
Mr.
problem.
Castleberry,
Yes, ma'am.
you said you met this lady when
Yes,
you were
ma'am.
going out to the store.
Yes, ma'am.
And you were going to the store to get what?
Well, I was going to the
Here,
store.
look here.
Oh, fine. I was going to the store for Bob to get him a bottle of liquor, actually.
Right.
Yes, ma'am.
So you were going to the liquor store, and at the liquor store you met this lady who needed a ride
Correct.
to where she lived.
Basically, no, ma'am. She just actually wanted to ride up the street. She didn't ask me to take her home. She just asked me, you know, basically the conversation went like, you know, can I hang with you, right? I said, well.
At the liquor store where you went.
No,
You went to the liquor store.
this is not a liquor store. This is actually Walgreens, you know. And that's why I met the lady on the way out of the store. And she asked
So
me.
she asked you, the lady who you met coming out of Walgreens said to you, can I hang with you,
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Castleberry?
Yes, ma'am.
As much as I hate to admit it, sir, I wasn't born yesterday.
Okay, though. Well, that's the truth, Your Honor.
Now you, who I'm sure hadn't had anything to drink that night, is that right?
I had some beers or what have you, but yet and still I wasn't.
What's the what have you?
Some beers.
It's a what have you that I'm interested in.
Yes, ma'am. Well, I had beers.
Then you had some beers and you went to get some more liquor for both you and Mr. Bob over here, who was passed out on the sofa. And you meet the young lady outside of Walgreens who wants to hang with you. And you take her up to the apartment with Bob passed out on the couch. So far, am I getting this picture right?
Well, Bob was actually asleep, you know.
He was in a deep sleep. Is that right, Bob?
No, it isn't.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
There was no reason for him to be alarmed by him seeing me going there into Bob's.
With the lady who had just urinated on the stairwell.
That's not true.
I believe it's true.
Okay, doke. Yes, ma'am.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy. Major Castleberry is suing apartment manager Zachary Thomas for assault. Zachary says Major may have been committing a crime and he wanted to hold him for the police.
This young lady, why did you bring her up to Bob's house?
Actually, it was actually, I don't know, no, you know, premeditated anything to that matter. It was no harm, no law broken. You know, I told her, yeah, sure, you can come on, and we just conversating, just talking. And also, Your Honor, it's, you know, people trying to make a mockery out of this situation. Yet and still, what happened to me basically shouldn't have happened at all. You know?
I absolutely agree with you,
Yes,
sir.
ma'am. So that's the
I
bottom line.
absolutely agree that it shouldn't have happened
Definitely.
to you.
Right.
He was trying to make sure that his tenant was safe because you have had no prior problems with this man.
Never. And Zachary know
Just
me.
a second. You've had no prior problems with this man.
Never.
But he was concerned for the following reason. He was concerned because you were bringing a woman up to Bob's apartment, a woman who he had seen, and I absolutely believe him when he says that she was urinating in the hallway.
Oh, my God.
Absolutely believe it.
Okay, doke.
Okay? Because quite frankly, sir, I think that you may tell me that you were not intoxicated that evening, but I think that you and Bob had done a little drinking, if that's all you were doing. If that's all you were doing. So that you weren't in complete control of what was going on. Now, he may not have acted 100% appropriately. You understand that, sir.
Yes, ma'am.
But he says that you hit him first.
That's a lie, Your Honor.
Well, he says that you hit him first, but then again, he was pinning you against a wall, a partition.
A partition one.
A partition. So he put his hands on you, and I don't think he had any right to do that. I don't think he had any right to put his hands on you because what he came in and saw was two guys who were semi-inebriated, and according to him, with a naked woman in the apartment. Something that I would not necessarily encourage, but which is not a crime.
That's not true.
Listen, Mr. Castleberry, this whole scenario that evening doesn't sound totally kosher to me. You know what that means? Totally right.
Go ahead.
Because I don't know what you're bringing some lady that you just met off the street, whether it's at 10 o'clock at night or 3 o'clock in the morning, up to this man's house for. You don't know anything about her. You know? You're You're pretty well sauced. He's pretty well sauced. Everybody's sauced. You bring a stranger up to the house, they can clean him out and go into the bedroom where his 92-year-old mother is sleeping and slit her throat.
No.
You know, I mean, all that is possible. This is somebody that you didn't know.
May I actually say something,
Yeah,
Your Honor?
sure.
Thank you very much. Actually, Your Honor, none of this, Zach have known me since 1985. I've never been in jail, never been in no trouble, or nothing of that matter, period. And he know that, hey, there was no reason for him to be alarmed by him seeing me go in there into Bob.
With the lady who had just urinated on the stairwell.
That's not true.
I believe it's true.
Okie doke. Yes, ma'am.
I believe it's true.
Okie doke.
Can I say something?
Yeah.
The reason I put my hands on him, because he put his hands on me first, shoving me out the apartment.
You had no business being in the apartment after you saw that he was in the apartment still breathing.
Okay.
Except that this woman, but the woman, according to you, was outside, right? At the time when this took place, the woman was outside the apartment, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. I mean, I understand your concern, Mr. Thomas.
And there was an arrest there at the same time.
A what?
The police did arrest the woman
For what?
for being intoxicated, wouldn't shut up, and wouldn't listen to reason. The police handcuffed her and took her to jail.
Interesting. They took her away in handcuffs?
He's lying.
No, he's not.
All right. Okie doke.
No, he's not.
All right.
He's not lying. Mr. Castleberry, you
Yes,
have to
ma'am.
use better judgment, sir, if you have better judgment, because if this man gives you access to his apartment, you have to exercise better judgment about who you permit into the apartment. Now, you're suing him for $4,000, Mr. Thomas. No way. No way. And I do believe that you did, in fact, hit him before he hit you. I also believe, however, that Mr. Thomas, sir, overreacted in the situation by not leaving the apartment once you saw that he was okay.
Yes, ma'am.
So, you're both a little bit wrong.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
Now, it says here that you had a little bit of a knot on your head, right?
Yes, ma'am. That's what it says.
That's what it says. So I have some other questions for you. Are you employed, sir?
Yes, ma'am, I am.
Who do you work for?
I'm a government painter.
A what?
A government painter.
So you work full-time for the government or part-time?
Full-time.
Did you miss any work?
Just
Over here, sir.
Just the days that I had to go, and I consulted an attorney, and I also went to the doctor.
It's not what I'm asking you, sir. After this incident,
Yes,
not the
I
days
did.
you took off to go to see a lawyer, or not the days that you took off after you consulted with the lawyer to go to a doctor. Because that's about what happened, right? First you went to see a lawyer, and then the lawyer sent you to a doctor, correct?
That is correct.
See how smart I am? See, if you're really hurt, you go to the doctor before you go to the lawyer. That's what happens when you're really hurt.
Okay.
When you're not really hurt, first you go to the lawyer, and then the lawyer sends you to a doctor.
May I say something, please?
Sounds right to me, Judge.
So, Mr. Castleberry, I am awarding you damages, sir, in the amount of $1. Thank you.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. And on the next Judge...
On Amin Shavoni versus Sharifi Azad, step forward, please.
30-year-old attorney Sonia Amin and sales clerk Brenda Schiavone are both suing beauty salon owner David Sharifi Azad for tattoo makeup they say caused permanent damage.
Order. All rise. Your Honor, this is number 17 on the calendar in the matter of Amin Shavoni versus Sharifi Azad.
Thank you.
Parties have been sworn in, Judge. You may be seated. Have a seat, please.
Well, this is an interesting case. I've sort of enjoyed reading about it. According to the complaints that I've read, you two ladies went to the defendant's salon to have some permanent cosmetic work done on your faces.
That's correct, Your Honor.
We're going to get to why you would want to do that to such beautiful faces in a minute. and you were dissatisfied with the work, so you're suing him. Is that what it's about?
I think you can use a stronger word than dissatisfied, Your Honor, more like disgusted.
Well, first tell me about the kind of work that you wanted to have done on your face.
It's a permanent cosmetic procedure. Instead of having to apply makeup on a daily basis, you would look like you've already been made up. Would have a lip liner on the outside of the lips, and for me an eyeliner, which is just on the margin of the eyelids, upper and lower, so that I wouldn't have to apply eye makeup on. So when I wake up, I look like one during the rest of the day.
Tell me how this is done.
It's a tattoo type of procedure where you take a needle with pinpoints and you take a color. I don't know what kind of exactly it's made out of, but it's a color that you apply with pin dots. And you connect the dots, you keep dotting it until you connect the dots and you see a line. And then the same thing underneath.
On your eyes?
Yeah.
What kind of research did you do before you decided to embark on these procedures?
Well, I worked in the medical field before, many years ago, and I've known numerous people who've done the procedure and who've actually performed the procedure, so I'm familiar with how it works. And it's relatively safe. We never heard any bad stories, and we talked and we decided we'd go together.
Fine. So you asked recommendations of these numerous friends as to where they had had it done, I assume?
Actually, no, Brenda suggested that we go to this gentleman's store.
Why? Brenda, look
Because
here.
it was near my house. And
Now, the reason you didn't answer me so fast...
And the advertisement.
Just a second. The reason you didn't answer so fast is because, as you were saying it, it sounded foolish, right? Well, I'm suggesting to you that if you're going to have this procedure done, which is, to me, you know, it's an invasive procedure.
Yes, it is.
It's an invasive procedure. It's not like putting a cream on you.
Right.
It's needles going into you, that you do more than just
Believe
look at
me,
a
I
pretty
know,
thing.
Your Honor.
All
I suffered
right.
for an hour on his table, I know.
Okay. Now, so you went in, and who was going to do this procedure for you?
His employee, her name was Fati. And
Who you spoke to?
Yes, before him.
Fati was your employee.
She works as an independent contractor in a salon.
Well, did you tell that to these people?
Yeah, they know that.
No,
What?
I paid
No,
him.
that's not what, don't tell me what they know, David. Listen to me, I told you, you would not escape me.
The lady who performed it, when they came in, they talked to her, and she said, I will do that for them. And I asked her, did you go through the initial introduction procedure? And she said, yes.
David,
That's
that's not
not-
my question. I said it was your employee. Don't try to out-waltz me,
Well,
sir.
what I'm saying,
That you
Your
didn't
Honor-
say to them that she is not my employee, she is an
It is-
independent
it is-
contractor.
it is.
Don't, are you trying to talk over me?
No.
David, you didn't say to them, this is an independent contractor who just rents space in my store. This was presented as your employee. So as far as anybody who walks into your store is concerned,
Yes, ma'am.
the people in your store are your employees.
That's true.
Oh, that's okay. So now tell me what happened. You want to start?
Sure. So I'm laying on the table, and she started on my eyelids first, on my upper eyelids. And you're supposed to do dot points, right, to connect the colors. You know, like dots with a needle. And what Fati was doing was taking the needle and making a line. And I was dripping in blood during the entire time. And I could see Brenda's expression. She's looking at me in horror like this. And I'm like, so I asked Fati, excuse me, don't you think you should wait until the blood dries before you continue poking me? She told me that this is how she does the procedure and it's fine. And I was in a lot of pain. Tears were coming down. I stopped her again. I said, you know what? This doesn't seem right. How can you see what you're doing with all the blood and all the tearing? She goes, I know what I'm doing. Don't worry about it. Finally, she finished with my eyes. I should have just left. But anyway, she finished my eyes and she moved on to my lips. Again, the same thing. She was just taking the needle and taking the line and over, and she had to do it like 4 times because the color wasn't taking. As you can see, I look the same as I did, a week afterwards with no liner. I have nothing on my lips. And this is what I paid them to do, right? So anyway, then it was Brenda's turn. So I left her.
So you just watched the assault on your friend Sonia.
Yes.
And then you said, here I am. Me next.
I've gotten, like I said, I have 3 tattoos, and you're supposed to dot it, and then you're
She
supposed
just
to wipe
told
it.
me that you watched what they did to her.
Yeah, but
I mean,
she
had you
said
been
this was
drinking?
normal. She said because I didn't know that permanent makeup, that it was this type of procedure. I had them on all other parts of my body, not on my face.
All right, so...
And they were very friendly to us and very
It was
cordial and
clean.
very... We were dumb.
Judge Judy will continue in a moment.
It's absolutely ridiculous for me to go and lay on his lousy table to bleed for an hour and a half.
Later today,
You just shafted her, and you know it.
No, I didn't.
She worked 165 hours, gets nothing.
I didn't shaft her.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy. Brenda Schiavone and Sonia Amin claim that a permanent makeup procedure in David Sharif Yazad's beauty salon was botched by his employee.
So you had your lips done?
Yes.
And no color?
As she proceeded, she did it once, the whole time around. Did not stop, but maybe once or twice to wipe it because I said, you know, I was dripping blood all the way down my chin.
Is this painful?
Yes.
Well, sure, we're sitting there
By
bleeding
now,
the
you're
whole
pretty
time.
much numb.
45 minutes
You
on
couldn't
her, an
really
hour and a
feel it.
half on me. Yeah, it's a lot of fun.
She did it 4 times on my lips.
We walked out of there, it looked like somebody
All right,
beat
so
me
when
up.
you got home, it was terrible.
Yes.
All right, let's cut to the chase. You got home, it was terrible.
Yeah.
So you called them again?
Yeah, I called him. I talked to Fatih. I said, this is ridiculous. I can't believe we went through this. It's not right. My eyes are swollen. My lips look, I look like a clown. She looked like a clown.
Yeah. So what did you want Fatih to do?
So she said, let me do it again. And I said, forget it.
Well...
I said, I'm not going to let you butcher me and do this again. And I talked to David. I said, you know what? You guys did a terrible job. I can't believe this went on. And I'm in pain. I'm scabbed. This is terrible. He reassured me that, you know, I'm sorry. Come in. Let my wife do it. And I said, your wife? She was learning. And I said, there's no way I'm coming in for you. I'm not going to be somebody's guinea pig. And he said, okay. On the 8th of June, he told me, I'll credit your credit card account and we'll call it even.
How much did you pay him?
I paid him $450 for me.
$450?
Yeah.
And I paid $200. Total of $650.
David, take a look at them. Did they have permanent color like they were supposed to?
If you allow me, Your Honor, I want to explain to you.
Okay.
They did their side. Would you allow me to do my side?
Yeah, sure, go ahead.
Okay. They came to the salon and they said they want to do the permanent makeup. We have done numerous permanent makeup with no incident, everybody happy.
I'm not
and they're a
interested in that. I'm not interested in that.
However, they did it, and when they came out of the room was at the closing of the time closing the store. My wife was there, I was there, and I did not see a drop of blood on their face or anything that they say.
Of course you
honest.
didn't, because you weren't there.
When you
Go ahead.
came out of the room, I saw you.
Okay.
And then Fatih came out, and as you see, they have signed the contract that it said this procedure might cause discomfort or pain, and it needs follow-up procedure.
Let me see the contract.
They read it, they signed it, and it's explained in the paper.
Let me see it. I can read, sir. It was one of the first
this
prerequisites
is one
for this
her
job.
And the other one for the other.
Your Honor, at the conclusion of the procedure, it is true that David said that we may need touch-up, a minor touch-up, but what needs to be done is a complete redo, as if nothing was done. And he offered me to come back and do it again. And I think it's absolutely ridiculous for me to go and lay on his lousy table to bleed for an hour and a half.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
You allowed somebody to go across your eye, allow blood to be dripping from your eye, and didn't at that very moment get up off the table and say, get away from me.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy. David Sharif Yazad says he never got the chance to finish the tattoo makeup for the plaintiffs, Sonia Amin and Brenda Schiavone. They say his salon was incompetent.
Now, I've read this contract. It says the undersigned client, that's them, agrees to follow the aftercare instructions and agrees that any touch-up work needed due to the undersigned's negligence, that's their negligence, shall be done at the undersigned's expense.
If they're negligent, but if they weren't negligent, we would do the follow-up free.
Well, they don't want follow-up, sir, and they certainly don't want your wife to do follow-up because your wife was a
Your Honor,
cosmetician
excuse me,
in
Your
training.
Honor, I'm very sorry to interrupt you.
Brenda, your suit is for $200, correct?
Correct.
And Sonia, yours is for $450, correct?
Well, Your Honor, yes, but I think we're entitled to more than what was paid because of the pain and suffering that they inflicted on us.
Well, you know, there's something called contributory negligence.
Well, that's
And-
fine. If I'm 20% contributory negligent or whatever number you want to assign.
I want to tell you something. Based on the story that you told me and the apparent intelligence of both of you two women, I think that you're far more than 20% responsible for your own pain and suffering. You were laying on the table and you knew that this was supposed to be done in a dotting procedure, and you allowed somebody to go with a needle, instead of doing it in little dots across your eye, to go across your eye, allow blood to be dripping from your eye, and didn't at that very moment get up off the table and say, "Get away from me." You let him do the other eye. When you finish letting him do the other eye, you let him do your mouth. And you watched the whole thing, and when she hopped up, you sat down.
Your Honor, there wasn't any blood.
Listen to me.
You weren't even in
There
the
wasn't
room.
any blood, Your
David,
Honor.
David, no, say nothing. Listen to me. Listen to me. When you stopped this process and when you first initially wanted your money back, that's what you were going to sue for. And I think that you're entitled to have your money back. And if you want to have this done again to yourselves, go and have it done to yourselves. I don't think that there's any big deal in the morning keeping a tube of lipstick on the side of your table. You want to look nice when you go in and brush your teeth? Put a little lipstick on. You know, to have it done permanently, your lips are going to change as you get older. Your eyelids are going to change when you get older. The bottoms of your eyes are going to change. They're going to get a little further down. The lids are going to come over. Judgment in this case is for the plaintiff in the amount of $650, consistent with the amount that they paid for these procedures. That's all.
Parties are excused. Step out, please.
I think they were looking for opportunity to make few bucks.
Oh, yeah, right.
I
We don't
don't
even
see
have
no
anything
reason
on
for
our
it.
face.
Nothing.
Nothing on our lips.
Because you are negligent and you could have had 10 months to come to talk to us. You didn't. You were looking for making
If
some
this is
money out of it.
satisfactory work, then
No,
it's a waste
you should have
of
come to
everybody.
follow up. You never follow up.
Parties on Addison versus Farwell. Step forward, please.
Secretary Bonnie Addison is suing Suzanne Farwell, her co-worker at California's Los Alamitos racetrack, claiming Suzanne refused to pay for 4 wedding dresses that took her 165 hours to make.
Miss Addison,
Yes.
you were familiar with the defendant from work. What kind of work do you do?
We both work at Los Alamitos Race Course.
And according to your complaint, she approached you one day because she was getting married.
Mm-hmm.
Must have heard that she sewed in her spare time.
Yes.
And she asked you if you would be interested in making 4 bridesmaids' dresses.
Correct.
So tell me about that conversation, because according to your complaint, you made the dresses, and then she didn't pay you for them and didn't pick them up.
That is correct.
Go ahead.
We were just talking one day, and she asked me if, since I sew, would I be interested in making the dresses, and I told her I would. And she asked me what would I charge, and I told her I had no idea because I had never sewn for other people in this manner, so I would have to check with a few people who did, so, you know, and then I'd let her know.
So did you let her know how much you were going to
Yes.
charge? What did you say to her?
I told her that I was told, since I was not a professional sewer, that a fair price to charge would be $10 an hour.
And what did she say?
She agreed.
Is that correct?
I did not agree to the $10 an hour.
What did you agree to?
When I approached her, I told her that I had been to a few seamstress that could do it for $120, and if she was interested to make some extra money for her sewing equipment, that if she would be willing to do it for under $120, and she agreed.
So according to you, she didn't say anything about $10 an hour.
She mentioned the $10 an hour.
What do you mean she mentioned it?
She said that that's what she was told to charge, being that she was a beginner. I asked her if that would keep me under the $120, and she said yes, as long as I did all the legwork, which I did. And she said that that would keep me under $120.
So, then what happened?
I thought we had agreed upon the $10 an hour, and that's the reason I said I would do it, you know.
So then you got started, you made these dresses.
Mm-hmm.
You were working by the hour. How many hours did it take?
165.
So that would be $1,600 for the 4 dresses.
Correct.
Or $400 a piece.
Correct.
4 times as much.
The week before my wedding.
So what happened?
She approached me and she says, that's way too much money.
Sounds like too much money to me, too.
Yeah.
I mean, it was a lot. I didn't realize I had been working that many hours on it. I was just sewing, doing what I enjoyed doing. And when we figured out the hours and that, yes, it came to $1,650. Well, yes, even I thought that was a little much. So I agreed to cut my hours in half.
To make the dresses a little over $200 a piece.
Correct.
And she said,
oh, that's too much money.
And you said,
well, if you can't pay that price, then you don't get the dresses.
So I didn't take them. This was all brought up the Sunday before my wedding. We talked to her one more time the Tuesday before my wedding and asked her and tried to talk her down. We offered her $150 for each dress over what we wanted to pay, and she would not accept that. She said, sorry, no money, no dresses.
Did they offer to give you the $150 for each dress?
No, ma'am, they offered me $150 for the 4 dresses.
$150 for the 4 dresses?
No, $150 per dress, and I have my witness right here to verify it.
Well, maybe that was a misunderstanding.
That might have been, I don't know. I can remember they offered me $150 for the 4 dresses. That's the reason I refused. I mean, I'm not crazy. I mean, I put a lot of time and effort into those dresses.
Well, I understand that you did, and I also understand that this was her wedding, and a couple of days before the wedding, I doubt whether she would have made a ridiculous offer to you of $150 for all 4 of the dresses. I mean, it just doesn't sound right. You ended up buying new dresses, correct?
Yes, we did.
And how much were the new dresses that you bought?
$136.
A piece?
A piece. And that was 3 days before my wedding.
Well, we have a problem here.
Judge Judy is ready to rule. Real cases, real people. Judge Judy. Suzanne Farwell says she refused to pay for wedding dresses made by her friend Bonnie because they weren't what she ordered.
Let me tell you what the problem is. The problem is a legal one. Because I see that you did the work. I also know that she got no benefit from the work that you did. And the problem comes from the fact that there was no meeting of the minds. This was a contract. And it was an oral contract that clearly neither of you agreed to the terms of because you were under the impression that you were going to be paid by the hour. And she was under the impression that whatever you did was going to cost her less than $120 per dress.
Correct.
If there is no meeting of the minds, there is no contract. And if there is no contract, you cannot sue on the contract, Ms. Addison. Now, I feel very badly for you because you went to all of this trouble, and you are a novice when it comes to sewing. I think that the advice that you were given to charge $10 an hour by whomever was ridiculous advice, because when somebody goes to a seamstress, they are given a price for the product. Because you, as a novice in making these kinds of dresses, in all probability took longer than a professional seamstress who could have done the work in far less time. So she would have been crazy to agree to pay you by the hour. So there is no meeting of the minds. And when there is no meeting of the minds in a contract, you cannot sue on it. So this case is dismissed. That's all.
Parties are excused. We'll step out.
And on the next...
Versus Ventura. Step forward, please.
20-year-old student Timothy Brazos says Jimmy Ventura seriously injured him when he hit him with a skateboard during an all-out fight at a party.
Order. All rise. Quiet in the courtroom, please. All rise. Your Honor, this is case number 238 on the calendar in the matter of Brazos versus Ventura. Parties have been sworn in. Judge, you may be seated.
Mr. Brazos, according to these papers, you claim that the defendant assaulted you by hitting you with a skateboard. You were severely injured. You want him to pay for your medical and dental bills, as well as pain and suffering.
Yes.
Right?
Right.
Tell me when this happened.
Friday the 13th, 1996.
Okay. Tell me what happened.
Okay. First, we were having a party at my house, and he was there.
Who's he?
Jimmy's brother, I believe. That's his brother.
This young man here.
Yes.
Okay.
He was there, and he came and peed on our lawn. Some of the party goers at the party didn't like it, so they confronted him and said, "Why'd you do that?" And I guess there's some push came to shove, and they started fighting, and they chased him off the lawn. And
The
then,
brother.
Yeah. And then he came back, shortly later, about 10 minutes later, with Jimmy and about 20 people. And they're all wearing white tank tops and had tattoos and shaved heads. Some were holding pipes and bats. And there was about 10 people left at the house having the party with me. And then all of a sudden, him and his brother rushed the house. Jimmy was one of them. Jimmy grabbed a skateboard, hit me in the head, and I fell to the ground. And he walked away, and I walked to the next house and went and got treatment for my mouth.
Was he arrested?
No, he wasn't.
Well, he was at one point arrested because there's a criminal trial going on.
Yeah,
Is that right?
Later on, I think about 4 or 5 days later, he was arrested.
Did he come to be arrested? Did you identify him?
Yes. I went down to the police station and picked his picture out and a list of people.
Okay. Yes, sir.
Okay. One night, on Friday the 13th, okay, he had a party. He had 2 kegs and 4 bands. My brother was supposed to go out to the party because he was invited by my uncle. And they jumped my brother. A bunch of people jumped him. I wasn't there.
Step up here. You're a gunner?
Yes, sir.
Did you use his lawn as a bathroom? Come on, let's go.
All right, well, I was invited to his birthday party by my uncle. I went out there, my friend took a pee on his lawn, and then they got around him, huddled around him. I went over there to try to settle it. A guy got in my face, and I was about this close to my face. I pushed him, and then I struck with a bat in the head and the side. And then I was basically gang rushed down the street, and that's where I went and caught my breath.
You caught your breath. And when did you call your brother?
I didn't call him.
I never seen him at all that night. He left. Supposedly he got jumped. I was walking through the apartments, and this is how I found about it. My uncle told me that gunner might have gotten jumped. So I saw Tim, I guess, whatever his name is, with a group of people, like about 40 guys, sitting in front of his house laughing on how they beat some guy up. I took off. I was with 2 girls that I was with all night, and I went to their house. And I sat there, and I saw my mom, Elaine. She drove by she was going down the street, and I saw, I'm like, what is she doing out here, 3 o'clock in the morning? But anyways, I came up to the scene, and I saw my mom trying to break up a fight, and some guy cold clocked my mom, like, leveled her out. She got a broken nose. She got, fat lip, and I ran in there, and I socked the guy that hit my mom.
Wasn't this young man?
No, it wasn't even him.
Yeah.
But that was the only thing that I came into this fight. I hit the guy that hit my mom.
I'm looking at this. You say in your answer, sir, that there was another fight 4 days later.
Yeah, there was.
When he got beat up, and he wants me to pay because the apartments belong to my grandmother and Tim smells money. So according to you, the injuries that he sustained happened 4 days later. Is that right?
Yeah, that's right.
Can I see your medical reports, please?
Sure.
The statement that you make here is that he got beat up 4 days later.
Yeah, he got beat up 4 days later.
He got beat up 4 days later, and he wants you to pay for it. It's not true, because the first medical report of injury was the morning of this incident. This incident happened late at night on the 13th.
Yes.
And his first report of injuries was on the 14th, which means that this stuff that you suggest about his being beaten up 4 days later and he just wants you to pay for it because he feels as if your family has money, I want you to put that out of your mind. His injuries were sustained on the 13th. Now, you are Mrs. Schwartz?
Yes.
Step up, please. You're their mother?
Yes, I am.
What do you know about this evening?
This boy has falsely identified because this boy wasn't there but 5 minutes. I don't doubt that Tim didn't get hit by somebody, but it wasn't by this young man right
You
here.
don't know that.
I was there the whole time, Your Honor.
No, you weren't.
He was
Yes,
hit?
I was, Your Honor. I was there
Mrs.
the whole
Schwartz,
time.
you weren't there the whole time.
Yes, I was there the entire time.
Tim said he got
All
hit.
the way until when the officers told us to go home.
I thought you got hit.
I did
She
get
did.
hit.
We sat
And when
and
you,
talked
just
to
a
cops
second,
for 4
when you got
hours.
hit, where were you?
I was
On the
right
ground?
in front of their apartment, right where he says he claims he got
Were
hit.
you on the ground?
Pardon?
Were you on the ground? Pardon. But
Yeah, not the entire night.
I didn't
was
say
hit,
on
I
the
was
entire
knocked
night.
out.
I said down. Were you knocked down?
Yes, I was.
So when you were knocked down, you were on the ground. You didn't see what was going on all around you.
No, but I wasn't down for that long of a
Mr.
time.
Schwartz.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
For one, I didn't hit him, but anyways, if you think about it, can you run 20 feet with a skateboard and have a skateboard truck and only chip one tooth? Can you do that? It's quietly impossible.
Would you believe this? You missed the point, sir.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy. Timothy Brazos claims Jimmy Ventura injured him when a party erupted into a neighborhood brawl.
Mr. Schwartz, what I'm telling you is, you did not see what was going on around you all the time. That doesn't mean that I am yet convinced that this was the person who hit you, sir. And I don't doubt the fact that you got hit.
Mm-hmm.
Because in your complaint, you say, because I read it very carefully, my back was turned to him when I got hit.
Well, I meant my side. You know, I was like,
What
I
you
was
meant,
like this.
sir, in your sworn complaint, and what you wrote, then are two different things, because you swore to this. You want to see it?
No, I know what I wrote.
You said, the reason I should win is I did not hit him at all. My back was turned to him when I got hit.
Well, yeah. I mean, my side was turned to him. I'm more like my back. As I got hit, I could see who hit me.
You mean, sir, listen to me. And I'm not saying that it definitely was not this young man. You have just told me that you never saw him before. That night was the first night you saw him. That there was a lot of confusion going on because there are lots of people out there, 40 people from your side, from the other group's side, so there are a lot of people, a lot of commotion. According to your own statement, you had a couple of beers that night. You didn't want to get blotto drunk, but you had a couple of beers that night. So you had something to drink. It was late at night because the party was in the process of winding down. And your back was turned towards the person who hit you. So what you're telling me is in the split second that you turned around, you saw this young man, and you are able to 100% say to me today, you are absolutely positive that this was the person who assaulted you with the skateboard.
Yes, because after he hit me, I saw who it was. He walked away, and I saw him.
He walked away. You fell to the ground when you were hit?
I fell to my knee and my arm.
You fell to the knees in your arm, and the person who hit you...
He was standing right there waiting for me to get up. I didn't get up for about 3 or 4 seconds.
Oh, you didn't tell me that before. You said they were walking away. Why would they be standing right over you?
To see if I'd get up and probably attack him back. Because he'd probably want to be ready if I would do something like that. But that's not what happened. He was right there after he hit me. He hit me. I got up. As I was getting up, I'm looking at him the whole time. He's standing there, you know, kind of backing away. And then he just goes off in his way, and I run upstairs in the house. My brother saw that happen.
Did you have skateboards in your house?
Yeah, they were on the lawn. It'd be very easy for him to grab one and hit me. I know for a fact it was him.
I'm not sure.
I'm positive. I'm 100% positive.
Okay, he says that I hit him and I took off. Well, if he would have known and he knew what I was wearing, which he doesn't because he said I was wearing a white striped shirt, I was sitting in front of those stairs for 4 hours talking to cops.
And that's not what he was wearing. And if he's
And that's
so
not
positive,
what I was wearing. When he
Your
said
Honor,
in court, he's all, I saw him, he's wearing a white shirt. I was not wearing a white shirt.
I never said he was wearing a white shirt. I said he was wearing a striped shirt.
you said it's in your
That's
testimony in the
testimony that
criminal
he's wearing a
case.
striped shirt.
Listen to me.
It says a white
After
striped
this
shirt,
happened,
t-shirt.
wrong.
After this happened,
We've
Well,
got
that's
the
what he said.
transcript.
after this whole
Should've brought it.
altercation, were you sitting, you say you were sitting and talking to the police?
Yeah, I sat
Hey,
there
Mr.
for 4
Schwartz,
hours.
stop it. I'm talking to him. You say you were sitting and talking to the police where?
Right on the stairs. We sat down right when my mom got hit. I showed up right when she got hit. I wasn't even there before when the fight started. I came up when the fight was already going on. I came up and I saw my mom get hit, and I hit the guy that hit her. I got maced. We both sat down on the stairs, supposedly where he says he ran up the stairs, whatever. I sat there. We were sitting there, and the fight was still increasing. I was still sitting there. The cops come up. My mom had she had like blood coming from her nose, and she had a fat lip, and so we were sitting there, and she was getting taken care of. that the ambulance came up and we were talking to him, and we sat there for 4 hours.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
It doesn't make sense to me that our own son struck her, sir. Common sense would dictate to me that that did not happen.
In the case involving Mrs. Schwartz and her sons, there was no common sense involved.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy. Timothy Brazos is suing Jimmy Ventura for injuries suffered during a neighborhood brawl. Jimmy is countersuing for pain and suffering, loss of education, and financial hardship.
Did they ever apprehend the person who hit you?
No, they didn't.
Yeah, we tried to tell my
We
mom,
tried to tell them who hit me.
and they would not listen
They wouldn't
to us
listen.
at all.
That sounds very peculiar to me.
This whole thing is peculiar.
No, just a second. That sounds very peculiar to me. I mean, here you have a woman who's in charge of a building complex, who apparently is injured when the police arrive, and the police will not take your complaint about the person who hit you?
No. All they kept saying is their side, Tim and his roommates, kept saying that Jimmy was the one that hit me. And I was trying to convince...
Jimmy was the one that hit you?
Yes.
You mean your son was
Yes.
the one who hit you?
That's what they were, that's what they were saying.
They try to say.
That's what they were saying the whole night, that Jimmy's the one who hit me, not Tim. He hit me. And the fella that hit me, if he's so sure it was Jimmy, then who I'm sure
Did
is hit
anybody
me is
suggest
him.
to the police
Because the boy that hit me was that boy's size right there.
No, Mrs. Schwartz, this boy didn't. He didn't hit you. Come on,
The
get
boy
it together.
that hit me was as tall as him.
Good.
But I won't 100% identify him because I didn't see him. It happened too quick. But it was
right.
he was a tall, big boy.
Okay. Did anybody suggest that this woman was assaulted by her own son?
No.
Huh?
No.
It's in the police
Did
report.
you? Let me see
I
the
didn't
police
suggest
report.
it.
I didn't bring it.
It should have been
Well,
all.
because
You're the father.
Yes.
You know anything about this?
Yes.
I'm going to hear you.
I just recently retired from the Los Angeles Police Department, and I had contact that night with my son, and then I contacted Lewis Martin, who's the detective handling the case in Santa Barbara County Sheriff's Office. And as she stated, there were independent wits from the commotion that was going on outside that did, in fact, is in the police report that she was struck by her own son during the melee.
Oh, just a second.
Just to let you know that part.
No, you can't let me know that. I don't know that. I don't know unless I hear a witness who saw it.
Okay.
Do you understand?
Yes. I
Because you understand that.
Yes.
And it doesn't make sense to me that our own son struck her, sir. Common sense would dictate to me that that did not happen.
In the case involving Mrs. Schwartz and her sons, there was no common sense involved.
Oh, I believe that there's common sense and logic involved in this whole thing. I believe that there was a party.
Yes.
I believe that this young man came uninvited. I believe that he brought somebody else with him that was also uninvited to the party. I believe that the other person he invited to the party went outside, either with him or without his assistance, and urinated on the lawn right in front of the house. I believe that there was some altercation.
Yes.
Because there were some guests at the party that were irate at what they saw because here were uninvited guests using the front lawn of your home as a toilet. Clearly inappropriate.
Yes.
I even believe he probably got roughed up a little bit and went home and got a whole group of people. Probably included in that group was his brother, who came back to the house looking for nothing but trouble. So far, it's as clear as a bell to me. The only thing that's not 100% clear to me, sir, is whether your son could make an appropriate identification.
I can clear that up.
Hmm?
I can clear that up.
Go ahead.
Okay, before this night, I've never seen him before. I would have no reason to pick his face out of a 6-person lineup. I'd never seen him before that night. How would I go into the sheriff's station and pick his face out of a lineup, even if I've never seen him before? And if he's not the one, if he's the one who hit me, I'd pick him out for sure.
Well, how long have you been living in that complex?
At the time, about a month. He never came by before,
Had
ever.
you seen him before?
Never.
That's not true.
The other brother.
He
I
saw
saw
both of my
him.
sons when he was at
No.
my house signing contracts.
We used to do maintenance work
I saw
on
him.
apartments.
One day when we came there with one of my roommate's parents, I saw Gunner walk to his room. That's the only person I ever saw.
Didn't
I
see
never
the
saw
other
Jimmy.
brother.
Never.
You have a photograph of the lineup?
No. But the police made me pick it, and they brought it to a civil criminal trial.
Pick it.
Explain to me, sir, exactly what was shown to you when you came into the police station.
I went to the police station.
4 days later, you went into the police station.
And he showed me
Who's he?
The police officer.
Martin.
Yes.
Detective Martin. Showed me a list. There's 6 people.
I bought this yacht for just $1,700.
It had been left to rot for years. The inside was even worse. Most people would walk away.
But I saw potential. First step, clear everything out.
Now we can see the real damage. The hull had to be solid.
Years of dirt finally gone.
This part takes patience.
Every flaw gets fixed.
A fresh base changes everything.
It finally starts to look new.
The deck needed love too.
Inside starts coming back to life.
Brightness changes everything.
It finally feels clean. Safety comes first.
Comfort finally returns.
Clean and simple.
Now it feels alive. The heart of the yacht.
Almost there.
She floats perfectly.
Time to move.
Worth every effort. From forgotten to floating home.
A $1,700 gamble, reborn.